Hold up, I'm gonna grab my weed shit. What's up, guys? Boop. Yo, I'm looking lean as shit, bruh. I'm looking lean as shit. Damn. Yeah, it's not bad. I'll take it. Yo, what is going on? I told y'all we were gonna go live on Friday. I told y'all. I said we're going live on Friday because you know what? Celebration. We've been going live every day for the last 2 months. Not every day, but every week for the last several months. Show's growing, subscribers, everything's beautiful. It's beautiful. Love it. I love it. I love today. I got my golf swing back. I'm hitting the fuck out of the ball now. Yo, and I got an announcement, but we're gonna talk about that later. Right now, we got Nico Ali Walsh, the grandson of the great one. Okay, if you didn't know, he's hanging right up there against the wall. Muhammad Ali's grandson is right now popping that jab out, looking nice and spicy with the jab. Follows it up with the right. His opponent, what's the guy's name? Oh, Sheila. Okay, so yeah, it's a good mood day, champ. It's a good mood day. All right, so his opponent, this is a 6-round fight. Got a minute 50 left in the first. And let's see. Jeremiah Sirwada. I swear to God, it's like Sirwada, something like that. But Ali now popping the jab, utilizing a very crisp, nice jab. So if you've never seen Nico Ali Walsh fight, which I'd be very surprised because my community is very tapped in, you will know that he has lost and he has been exposed, is what, a lot of casuals will say. Look, he was always limited. He was a limited fighter. He was a limited fighter before he ever lost. Okay. I think he is fun. I do. I think that there's something about him that wants to be great. And I do think he can put on exciting fights. Is he a world beater? Never. No, there is not going to be a single world where Nico Ali Walsh ends up a world beater. But, you don't got to be a world beater to have a successful career in boxing, especially when you got the last name of Ali, right? I mean, this guy wins a regional title, and I'm sure he's going to be on the cover of a fucking Wheaties box. I mean, listen, Nico Ali Walsh can win a NBO or NBO. He can win an NABO, and Nike will probably sign him to a fucking shoe deal. Let's be real about that, right? 20 seconds left in the first round. We are watching the DAZN card, Pulev versus Gassiev, and it is for the. It's for something. Let's see. Open. Actually, it's for nothing. I think it's for like an IBO title or IBA. I think it is the IBA because there's like a lot of like IBA paraphernalia on the poster. Ooh, Ali got tagged from the top head body head. Nice little hook that he threw. He's got this like wide hook that I don't like that he throws, right? And he throws it like it's like out here, it's like a slapping hook. But he's got very good understanding of how to get the torque out of the punch, right? So it's like if he could like shorten it up just a little bit, I really think that lead hand would be dangerous for him heading into the second round. I don't think Maxie Hughes has fought yet. I'll be honest. I wasn't really watching it. I wasn't really watching. I wasn't really watching. Yeah, I'm just gonna be honest. But I told y'all we were going live, so I wanted to go live. Ooh, Ali just took a right to the freaking head. Yeah, I could do that, but I'd have to jump off YouTube, and I just saw that you're on YouTube, so I don't why you're on both, I don't know. And thank you again. You know, you haven't been here for the last like 3 shows, and I swear to God, I forgot to go live on IG all 3 times, dude. Listen, I'm telling you right now, when I can like when the show makes even a little bit of money, I'm just giving it all back to y'all. I swear to God, I'm going to hire as many producers, as many people that can make me like fucking overlays and thumbnails, like as many people as I can hire is what Infight and FX. We will never have too many background production engineer people like that. Ali reaching with the jab a little bit. So this is kind of like the MO on Ali, right? He gets to a point in the fight where I think he feels like down, like in the fight. I mean, like he feels like, oh, I'm losing, or I'm down on the cards, or I haven't, performed up to expectations yet. And that's when he sort of kind of opens up a little bit more than he should. The first round, he was throwing a very nice, crisp jab, but he was letting it go from the right place. You see, that's the most important thing with the jab, right? A lot of people, specifically like casual fans, believe that the jab is nothing more than a setup punch, right? It's a distraction. It's something to keep you busy or keep your opponent, guessing. And that is absolutely false. Okay. I've seen jabs knock people down. I've seen, uh, um, Oh, a nice left hand from Ali. He misses the one, he misses the two, follows up with the lead 3 and connected. It is a very disruptive shot. And a beautiful counter right from Jeremiah. Unfortunately, he wasn't in the range. And that's the one thing that Ali showed in the first round that he's not showing here in the second. And that is an understanding of the range. Although it may be that Jeremiah is the one who has understood where Ali can get to him and where he can't. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say he looks like dog shit, but I mean, yeah, he's definitely not like a top fighter. But I mean, what you want Ali? Who do you want Ali to fight? Like, come on, dude. Nice left hand by Ali, follows it up with a jab, misses the right. Jeremiah is timing that shot from Ali, and that could be dangerous in the fight. It doesn't look like this kid has any sort of ability to crack whatsoever. He looks like he has very soft hands. Let's see. It's Sarwada. Serwada. Sarwada. It's a cool name. He's from Uganda, but currently resides in Abu Dhabi. Oh no, in Dubai. Nico Ali Walsh. Okay, so Jeremiah Sarwada has 9 KOs in 12 fights, so he's not pillow fisted. But it doesn't look like he's getting much torque. If I had to say anything, he looks like a guy that scores you didn't see it knockdowns. Maybe not flash knockdowns, but like he takes these like weird angles. He's like overly committed to these like longer punches out of range. He throws that lean back shot a lot. Um yeah, I appreciate that, champ. Yeah, no, we're gonna run undisputed. We're gonna run it. I'll have my gamer tag, my PlayStation tag. It's Senior Stash, SR Stash 21. You can find me on Undisputed. Uh and come get your ass beat. It's all good. We got nothing but love over here, right? I'll beat that ass, and I'll let you come on and talk about it. Nice uppercut from Jeremiah. He used that lead uppercut almost as a counter, which is like fucking nuts to do. You leave yourself so open if that guy's coming in with something other than a long distance or a long range punch. Sawada jabbed to the body as Ali countered with a hook to the body. I really don't think that there is a punch in Ali's arsenal that would allow him to score an effective counter body shot. He doesn't have quite the technique to get onto the outside. You see a lot of guys like Canelo, they almost kind of like get around it, so it's like not hitting you on your side right here, it's almost hitting you back here, right? And there's just a way to get that torque in it at the last minute, and you get that torque into the body. But Ali is so much better with straighter punches. When he's throwing straighter punches, I feel like he is at his best version. 2 Kobe Bryant signed Laker championship basketball sell for big bucks. The fuck, ESPN? Literally nothing's happening that you're having to ruin my... Oh! Beautiful left hand, and then a nice right followed up by Ali, who now throws 2 shots to the body. Yo, he looks pretty good. I mean, here's the thing. If you're watching and you're saying to yourself, this is Nico Ali Walsh, he doesn't look that great. Well, that's because you didn't know what to look for before the fight, right? If you were expecting a world beater, you were the one who was mistaken coming into this. Based on what I expected and how I've seen Ali in the past, I like the way he's performing right now. Now Jeremiah is starting to press Ali's space. He hadn't done that very much at all within these 3 rounds. 15 seconds left in the third. Yo, who does Sawada look like? Sawada. Who does Sawada look like, bro? He looks like a rapper, like an old rapper. He looks like one of the guys from OPP. No, wait. They weren't. No, Naughty by Nature, I mean. He looked like the bald light skin one from Naughty by Nature. What the fuck, bro? They got like a Fortnite video game playing on the... It's always funny to see boxing or MMA or like whatever in another country when it's like specifically being like targeted to like American fans. Like in this case, Nico Ali Walsh is fighting on this card, right? So they expect a certain amount of English speaking fans to be watching, more than normal, right? And it's so funny when that happens and they like all like start catering to Americans, like Japanese people in America. And they're like, oh yeah, special hot dog, pizza time. Oh, race cars, mountain, rocky. Yeah. Steroids, muscles. Like they just like flash bang you with the fucking bunch of American objects. It's weird. And they're like, yeah, we hooked these fat bastards from America. These obese son of a bitches don't even know what they're doing. All right. Now, Nico, it's never a good idea to have a font before you have like a quality win or a quality like you should probably be like an interim champion before you get your own font, Like even if you're Ali's grandkid, I don't think you need your own font. Not yet, right? Let's win a few before we start putting creative artistic endeavors into our trunks and the font. All right, now Ali pins him up against the ropes, unleashes 2 body shots, but Jeremiah gets him off with a right uppercut. That sounded weird. And Ali backed up for a moment. I don't know if that hurt Ali or if it just caught him in a weird spot, but he looks perfectly fine. So, but he got hit with it and sort of backed off. He had Jeremiah up against the ropes. It was a very favorable position for him to just give up immediately, like the way he did. Hey, I appreciate everybody that's tapped in on this Friday. Not a usual day we go live Monday through Thursday. And obviously, we'll be live tomorrow for the big John Cena finale. Please come kick it with us. I'm going to have my two younger cousins, who you may know on TikTok or IG as the Mungia Bros. Little ball players, little ballers. They're badass little baseball players. And they're going to be in the building with my cousin, their dad, and my other cousins, and a couple of friends, and my brother, and a bunch of us. We're having a big John Cena farewell party. Make sure you wear your red and blues and greens and yellows and whatever John Cena paraphernalia you may have or may not. Nico Ali Walsh took that nice shot to the body, but he ate that really well. See, the ref is warning him about that shot to the body, but that's not. He warned Ali about hitting like behind the back, like more like kidney shots, but that's not fair though, dude, because first of all, Jeremiah is pulling back in a way that kind of exposes that side of his rib cage, or I mean of his well, yeah, I guess his. Yeah, so Arda is doing well when he's starting first. When he is first, it is very difficult for Nico Ali Walsh to get off his own offense. But offensive sequences in which Ali starts first seem to go better for him. That said, though, Jeremiah is the one that's having more effect, or who's being more effective in breaking up Ali's rhythm. It's been a decent fight. I think this is a good learning fight for Ali. I think one of the biggest problems for this kid was that Top Rank signed him right away. And this is what I've always or not always, but after Chavez Jr., I was done with boxing and Nepo babies. And it's not to suggest that no son or daughter can be as good as their father. Not at all. Not at all. First of all, you got Floyd Mayweather Jr. out there, right? You got well, Hector Camacho is a little different, but there are plenty of instances in which the son or the nephew or the grandson or whatever ends up superseding, the other career, right? Robert Garcia, Mikey Garcia, right? So you look at that and you say to yourself, like, okay, what happened with Chavez was they put him on pay-per-view super early. I mean, this guy fought fucking Lee on a pay-per-view that was like 1999, back in the day when pay-per-views at most cost like $49.99, maybe, right? It's like half the price of like crazy domestic, like big megastar fights. And so the blueprint was there, make as much money off of these kids as you can, sell the nepotism, sell the nostalgia that their nepotism, touches on. And then when they get exposed, cash out for all they're worth, and with Nico, I think they were putting him on that kind of trajectory. And if you want him to succeed, if you want what's best for him, then bringing him along slow was always going to be the way to go. However, I don't think that they did really rush him. They weren't using kid gloves, but I don't think they really rushed him either. I don't know if they knew how not ready he really was. Jeremiah got a cockeye shit. Can't even, it looked like he looking at the camera when he's throwing that jab. Yeah, Ali's lost the distance. He's lost the range. This happens in a fight, especially like 6-rounders where you don't have a lot of time to go and work a game plan. A lot of times it's kind of a reactionary game plan. If he does this, I'm going to do that. But for the most part, I'm going to go out and try to establish my fight script. In this case, though, with a 6-rounder, it's tough because you don't really get the chance to work. You got to put in 2 rounds in the first 3 immediately. If you go down 2 rounds or even worse, 3, I mean, you've lost. The fight's over, basically. I mean, I'm not saying it's over, but I mean, you would have to make something very special happen. And to put yourself in a position where you need to make something big happen, like the best fighters, the best players in the world, they don't shoot 50-foot 3-pointers for the game winner, right? They don't throw 60-yard Hail Mary passes to win the game, right? They're good enough to put themselves in a position where they're able to win it. And, that's kind of not what Ali does well at all. Beautiful right hand that Ali followed up, and then a jab. Both of them single punches, solitary punches, but both landed really well. Jeremiah looks tired now, and Ali looks controlled. Ooh, nice stab jab to the body, and then Ali brought it back up to the top. I really like Ali in this fight right now. If you're looking at, well, who landed punches, like what was one person doing to the other in terms of offense, both exchanged really, really nice right hands with 13 seconds, 10 seconds left on the clock. That's going to be it. So you got, where are they? They're in Abu Dhabi, right? Or Dubai? Oh, they're in Dubai at the Duty Free Tennis Stadium. The fuck? Duty Free has a shop, has a store. I mean, has like their own stadium. I thought Duty Free was like just the name of like airport shit that's like not taxed. I didn't know that was like an actual brand. Oh, there's Artur Beterbiev, and I think that's a relative. Oh, his relative fought on the undercard. Hold up, I'll be right back. Grease lightning, you're having up the fucking no. Grease lightning, home, grease lightning. Go grease lightning, you're having up the fucking no. I'll get her ready, I swear I'll get her ready. Okay, round 6, 2 minutes left in the last final round of this fight between Nico Ali Walsh and Jeremiah Sarwata. That's right, Sarwata. 2 S's, 2 W's. No, wait, not 2 W's. I think there's only 1 W. Yeah, 2 D's. All right, a minute 40 left, and these guys are basically fighting at the same range. Beautiful step in jab by Nico Ali Walsh, who cuts the distance enough to make contact at the end of the jab. And that's what we were talking about earlier, right? A lot of casual fans, a lot of fans that really don't watch boxing or don't really know boxing, right? But are like familiar with the terminology. They believe that a jab is like a nothing punch, right? It's either just to set something up or to keep you busy or to give them a different look. No, not true. There are different jabs for different purposes, and you can hurt someone with the jab, especially when they are not expecting it to. The biggest punch you can land is a changeup, right? Because you're throwing your fastball trying to fucking nail them, right? But when you switch up the tempo on them and you hit them with something flush that they don't expect, that hurts way more than revving up, telegraphing, and letting them, giving them a chance to not absorb the punch, but roll with it, and prepare to take it, right? Prepare to absorb. Like if I punch someone in the stomach and they don't realize it's happening, bye air, your air's gone. It's if you've ever had that happen. But if I tell you I'm gonna punch you and I tell you to tighten your abs, chances are you're gonna be fine after that shot. I mean, if it's with my right hand, if it's with my left hand, then you could die. If it's with my left hand, the chances are that before you come up, the little bad guy ghosts from Ghost that get Patrick Swayze, they're gonna be like, and then they're gonna fucking drag you down because this motherfucker hurts. You want me to show you the video of when I beat the shit out of Show Kid at Border Wars in the boxing voice? I knocked his fucking tooth out. All right. Ness said he had to drive to Chicago 2.5 hours from Wisconsin where we fought because I fucked him up. Is that Terrence Crawford? That's fucking Terrence Crawford. What the fuck? Yo, Terrence Crawford, bro. Shout out to you, Terrence, bro. Don't let nobody talk that bullshit of you didn't get nothing the night you beat Canelo and there was no transfer of stardom. Don't let nobody play that bullshit. My man is out here, you know what I'm saying, flying to Dubai for a fucking nothing card. I mean, not a nothing card, but you know what I'm saying? It's not like a big ass card or anything like that, especially here in the States. Crawford on the team, bro. Him and Ali, bro. That's real talk. Hey, if you ever saw that video, because they're boys, where Nico tries to take down Crawford, because everybody wants to test Crawford, bro, right? Terrence Crawford has shown, this is going to sound crazy, but I swear to God, in all of boxing, Terrence Crawford has shown the most high level potential to compete in MMA. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but you think about what boxing is and how it relates to MMA. You're rarely going to see guys in boxing that make you think, oh shit, he might do good in the cage. Who knows? But vice versa, you do see guys in MMA that you pause sometimes and say, well, you know what? Frankie Edgar was one of those guys. I truly believe that if Frankie Edgar would have, at 13 or 14 or whatever age he really started getting into it, if he didn't go veer into MMA and went straight to boxing, bro, I think he could have been a world champ. Maybe not a world beater. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not unified, definitely not undisputed. I don't think he would have been pound for pound the best at anything. But yo, Frankie Edgar had hands. He had a high level understanding of uh he had a ring IQ is what he had, and he understood the real estate in the ring better than most when it came to throwing hands specifically. Gray Maynard was also very good with his hands. There's a few guys in MMA that I think could have done well in boxing, right? Like guys like Rampage, I always knew they would suck at boxing. That guy's not even a great fighter. I mean, he's a good fighter. He's just more like a street fighter type of dude, right? Yo, is that kid in Nico Ali Walsh's corner? Is that the little Russian baby guy in the green suit? Is that him? The little baby Russian? You don't know who I'm talking about? What is it? Hezbollah? I think the little baby Russian's there. Oh shit. No, that kid's Puerto Rican. Oh, that's a little kid. Nope, that's a, you know what? Let's stop. Let's not worry about that guy. Yo, they're getting hot, bro. It got hot. They were mad that Nico Ali turn on when you're at home. All personal focus on it. No, bitch. It was a competitive fight. Like, I've been watching the sport long enough to know that there is a home field advantage benefit. Okay. Absolutely. And there's an A side benefit. Okay. And that A side benefit plays even bigger than a home field advantage benefit, right? So like the Cowboys play home against like the Commanders, right? And they have home field. There's an advantage there. Okay. In boxing, the geographical advantages don't compare oftentimes to the A side advantage. And if you're a guy like Jeremiah Sirwada, if you're a guy like Jeremiah Sirwada, you have to know that you have to beat a guy like Nico Ali Walsh on the scorecards definitively. And even then, they could fuck you. Even then, they could find some crazy reasons not to give you what they want to give, what you deserve or what you're owed or what you feel you should get. Now they're showing replays where Jeremiah is just excellently and beautifully just landing these uppercuts and getting out of the way. It's like all Jeremiah replays right now, which is kind of weird, like considering the other guy got the win. I don't think that was a bad call. I mean, honestly, I think it was close enough that it probably could have been a draw. You know, there were at least like there were at least three swing rounds in that fight for sure. It was a tough fight to score because they're both throwing, they're both landing at a pretty regular clip. Oh, here we go. Maxie Hughes. So this is a very good fight up next for those of you who are not familiar with Usmanov. He is 11-0, and this guy looks very, very tight in training videos. Very, very tight in footage on him. Maxie Hughes, who you should be familiar with if you've been watching the sport long enough. He's been boxing since about 2011. 2010. He's been fighting since 2010, dude. That's 15 years in the game. That's nothing to scoff at. That's pretty fucking crazy. Shout out to Maxie Hughes, bro. 29-7 with 2 draws, 6 KOs in those 29 wins. So, not a lot of leather there, but his opponent is 11-0. That's right. This guy, 11-0, a standout amateur. Okay, standout amateur from Tajikistan, Dushanbe, Tajikistan. Bro, I ain't even gonna go there with that. So this is gonna be a 12-round affair if it goes the distance. And this is a very good win for a kid that's 11-0. Now, 5 KOs in his 11 fights. So he's also not a guy. He's very technical. He's got that. He's still, I think, transitioning from like the amateur style, right, to the pro style, which is something that I think very few people outside of boxing understand. It's like people think like boxing and MMA are the same fucking sport. Literally, they're like, oh, you throw punches. Oh, well, then they're the same sport. Oh yeah, so is basketball and volleyball, right? Because they're played on a court and they both have nets and a ball, right? So they're the same fucking sport. No, you moron, they're not. It's a weird ass looking building, bro. It's like rectangle. Meet the fighters first. You've been talking for 2 minutes, champ. I like that there's like a no nonsense fuck around entrance, right? Like, bro, I love the theatrics of a big card, right? But it sometimes feels like Rider Season thinks every card's a big card. And they put these huge events on, and you're like sitting there for like hours. Like, dude, I turned this on to watch boxing. Okay, not Pitbull sing a bunch of lyrics in English and Spanish to a crowd that speaks neither. I mean, I don't know. I just don't give a fuck. All right, let's go. Hey, bro, real talk. I know Usmanov is going to get this win. Like, it's just probably, oh shit, he got Kraftstov as his manager. The German, I think he's German. Yeah, that guy's really smart. He's handled some outside of boxing careers too. I think K1, he had some guys in K1. All right, now here he is. Bacador, I think. Bacador Usmanov. Okay. again, this is a very, very interesting fight from a style perspective. Okay, going on DAZN right now. You can check it out yourself. I don't know how much it costs to sign up right now. I mean, I'm assuming they don't have any down things right now because of Christmas, so maybe you can get a good deal. Who knows? But it's tough to pay for a subscription that essentially rewards you by making you pay for pay-per-views. Yo, and by the way, they're putting the foot to the throat of everybody, right? Because without Dana doing pay-per-views, the market will change. There will be, I mean, depending on how long, like let's say this whole Paramount thing's a fiasco. I don't think that's going to happen, but let's just say it was, right? That might, shit the bed hard enough that, the people in the next room got to smell it, right? So that could happen, but I think ultimately it'll be a successful event. All right, we are in round 1, 2 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock as Maxi leaps in with a nice 1-2, follows it up with that. It's like a hybrid left, right? Because it's not a hook at all. It's also not an overhand, but he has a lot of loop to it. It's not as straight as you would want a straight to be, as straight as a cross should be. And he throws it a lot like that. So I always assume, okay, this guy is, these are reaction punches, right? These are like counter punches. These are punches where you're trying to catch the guy when he's not expecting it. Maxi's got decent accuracy with his hands. The problem he has a lot of times is not being set in the position to really make it count. It's not that he doesn't land, it's that he doesn't land flush a lot of times. He just doesn't utilize the range that would be best for him. Also, it's tough, fighting out of the southpaw position. It's tough. Usmanov, he called him chinny. Hey, they said Usmanov got mad because Maxi Hughes called him chinny, and then they had to translate it because he didn't know what the fuck it meant. He's from Tajikistan and shit, bro. If I fought a dude from like a different country, like Tajikistan, or like a country like where few people know that language, right? Like I would learn whatever I could in their language to troll the fuck out of them, dude. For real. I would just try to get them to troll. Or I would just try to troll them. Bro, how old is this kid? Yo, Usmanov is 27 going on 49. This man looks like he's got 3 kids, 1 at soccer practice, and then 2 that he has to pick up from daycare at 5. Yeah, he actually negotiated to try to get the fight to 10 rounds because they have a PTA meeting right after this. He looks like a bald fucking dad is what I'm trying to say. All right, let's see this replay here. Usmanov, very light hands, very accurate. There's nothing really flashy about him, right? He's just very solid. I think I used the word tight, which sounds weird now that I think about it, but he's very tight. He's got everything very, there's not a lot of lag on his technique. There's not a lot of lag on his technique. It's pretty sharp. It don't buffer. You see a lot of other guys, especially that Eastern European and the amateur style, like outside of the U.S. It can be robotic when you put it into the professional setting without a proper transfer over, right? Boxing is a very unique sport in that reps do not help, right? You have to actually have fights. Well, I guess baseball is like that too, because like you could take all the BP you want in cages, but if you're not getting live at bats against a guy who's trying to strike you out with an umpire who's calling, it's not the same. All right, we are 2 minutes and 30 seconds are into or left in the round 2. They are fighting at a very safe range right now as Maxi Hughes takes a step in and lands a left to the guard of Usmanov. Beautiful slip from Usmanov. He's very wildly is not the word. Oh, a nice left from Maxi Hughes. He lands straight across the chin. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. I think Usmanov's gonna win. I think he probably will win, but I'm going for Maxi Hughes, bro. I don't like doing that. Like I shouldn't go for anybody because it's like I'm trying to be impartial. But bro, I like Maxi Hughes, man. He's just such a I don't know. First of all, he seems like a dude you can have a beer with. That's first of all. That's an important thing for me. Like if you're my homeboy and we can't have a beer together because you're either an obnoxious drunk or a bitch, then it's like, bro, I don't want to kick it with you. I just go kick it with my wife. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. She's not a bitch all the time. So they are at a distance that I feel probably benefits Usmanov better, but for Maxi Hughes, he is very good at quickly getting that half a shuffle step in before unleashing, and that's good against a guy like this who's he's not fast. He's pretty slow. If you're going to get an opportunity against him, you got to take it while he leaves it open. And right now, he's leaving it open. We're fucking throwing like this. What the fuck was that? Oh, I didn't see it. My bad, champ. Thank you. Let me see. Uh, I don't know. I don't know. I can't even tell. I don't know. All right, 10 seconds. With a couple of uppercuts then. Fuck. Fuck, man. What the fuck is it? Oh shit. Oh, dude, where the fuck is all my shit? Fuck, dude. Whack. Damn, dude. I don't know where the fuck my thing is for my. Damn, dude, I can't find my fucking camera thing to screw into my what's it called? It's like if it's not one fucking thing, it's the other, dude. Canella, I'm not gonna beat you. Why you always leave when I get frustrated? Oh, no? Alright, well, eat shit then. I can't fucking find it. Bullshit. All right. Anyway, we're in the fourth round, minute 40. Damn, dude, I'm fucking pissed. I swear to God, like something always, it's like always disappears. All right, minute left. Maxie Hughes takes a left coming in. Usmanov is starting to get inside a little more, or not inside, but closer in range. Oh man, in sequence, he just landed a 2 to 3 punch combination back to back. Landed it, avoided Hughes's offensive sequence, and then went right back at it. Oh, beautifully evasive from Usmanov. Then he turns over that right hand so well. And the left, by the way, he throws that left almost like from the orthodox position. I didn't get to see that full round, and it sucks because that was a very interesting round, what it looked like to me on live, because you had Usmanov doing the better work from a perspective of establishing a workable strategy that leads to a winnable fight script. But Maxie Hughes has landed several opportunistic punches that weren't necessarily counters, but moments where he's applying the pressure off the back end of a ramped up Usmanov, you know, combination sequence. So, it's tough to say who won that. Only seen like, you know, probably a minute 20 of that round, but certainly looked interesting to me from what I did see. Beautiful left hand from the 48-year-old Usmanov, who is 27, but he looks damn near 50. He looks like he has a pair of readers that he wears right here on his nose. And when you walk into a room and he's reading, he goes, "Oh, hello, son." His son being probably like 19, even though he's only 27. They just got that guy recording the fight. Oh, I didn't get it. Damn it. Let me see if I can rewind it. I don't want to mess it up. You're right. Bro, the ref looked at him so pissed off when he had to break him right there. Usmanov, I don't love the right he throws. So he's very back here with it, right? So when he goes to throw his straight, it's like a cross, right? He throws the cross like that, but he's not getting full extension on it because he's trying to sneak it in there when he can. God damn it. Ooh, beautiful body work for Baxi Hughes. Beautiful right hand on the counter. And Usmanov, like, he's putting the punches together well. It's just that there's nothing behind them. Like, he's trying to score points. He's not trying to hurt his opponent, right? You got to make, like, if you don't give Maxie Hughes a reason to stop coming forward, he's not going to stop. Like, you're not going to get him off of you. You're not going to get him into retreat mode. He's not going to stop trying to find an opening unless you hit him with something that's going to make him think about rushing in or leaping in or taking, a few quick steps in before unloading an offensive sequence. Now they trade. Yeah, Usmanov is very, very repetitive right now. It doesn't feel. Yeah, he just got hit in the back of the head. Usmanov just hit Maxie Hughes in the back of the head pretty hard. I mean, it was an accident, but damn, that looked fucked up. Ooh, nice uppercut from Usmanov. And he's got that thing tucked right here, right? And I was just talking shit about it because it's terrible straight. Like, imagine the mic is my opponent, right? And I'm right here, and I'm trying to catch him with this punch like that. You know what I'm saying? But the uppercut, the uppie, is right there, bro. He didn't land it flush, but he landed good enough to show me and show us that, hey, he's cooking with some gas right there with that right uppercut. Ooh, nice right lead hand from Maxie Hughes. He went to throw a hook, but then kind of turned it over. It was like an overhand lead. It was crazy. That was a weird punch. Yeah, I'm live on TikTok. Am I not live on TikTok? Let me know. I can't check it right now. Um Ooh, nice. StreamYard doesn't connect to TikTok like that. So I don't know if I was live on TikTok. If I'm not anymore, then let me know so I can get back on. We are 50 seconds left of the 6th round in a scheduled 12 rounder as Maxie Hughes fights 11-0 amateur standout Usmanov in a fight that I'm picking Maxie Hughes. I said at the beginning, I'm picking him, man. I fuck with Maxie Hughes, bro. He's a fighter. He's a good fighter, I think, and he's fun, and also I think he's got balls. So also Usmanov is like talented, but he's not like the most entertaining, right? I mean his style, although he is letting it go pretty decent here. It's just like he's putting like nothing on his punches. There's just like these very soft-handed kind of like, throw out. It's like a lot of people, right, don't actually know how boxers punch. And essentially, their hands are almost open until the last moment a lot of times. You kind of squeeze it on the way, like you want to leave it fast, right? You want to leave it quick. Uh And some boxers won't even close their fist all the way or even barely, right? Just to make the contact, right? Just to show them this is where I'm at. This is where I could get you from. And I believe that this lack of knowledge led to what people refer to as Glovegate, which was a huge made up conspiracy by a bunch of fans who, did not understand the styles enough to realize that their guy was beat. He was never going to win that fight against Fury. They could have fought another 10 times and nothing. He would have had nothing to offer him. Wilder had the same opportunity he had in fight 1, fight 2, fight 3. In all the fights, he had the same chance landing that one big punch, but Fury is levels ahead of him, always was. So they had to they had to create this thing, right? This glove gate, and make it seem like it's actually a thing, right? But it was because Fury's gloves, yeah, they looked a little wonky, right? But them not understanding, yeah, they're bending back because his fists aren't closed. Like, yeah, were they a little off his glove? It looked a little weird, sure, but that didn't mean that the gloves were altered. That didn't mean that padding was removed. Um, it means that you're desperately trying to cling to anything that'll keep your worldview where it was. And that is, boxing well enough to know your guy, Deontay Wilder, was better than every fighter on the planet, the baddest man on the planet. And you were mad that guys like me told you, no, you're wrong. I'm sorry. Yes, I'm American too. Yes, I'm a proud American, but I'm just not a liar, right? And not a fucking douchebag. I don't think boxing is where the politics are being played out on the world stage. Fuck that. That's ridiculous, right? They try to make it into this like American thing and a black thing, and at the end of the day, it was a you're fucking wrong thing, and you can't get over being wrong. So you have to discredit the win any way you can, but learn how to throw a punch. Maybe you'll figure out why the gloves look like that. Anyway, Usmanov now in the center of the ring, unleashing hooks. Oh shit, bro. He went to blow his nose. And Maxie Hughes took full advantage, as he should. That was a big, big mistake from oh shit. What the fuck? All right. I'm gonna send D the link right quick. Nah, I'm off IG right now. I'll sign in a little bit. I'm on YouTube right now though. Yo, what is going on? DJ Roberto Ruiz, my man's. What's going on, Roberto? You tapped in, you watching this fight? It's a decent fight, man. It's a decent fight on a Friday afternoon in Texas. I mean, they're in Dubai, but I'm in Texas. Let's see. Send this to D Style real quick. Who do I have winning? I'll be honest. I think Maxie Hughes has landed the better. I think he's had the better offensive sequences in the fight. I think he's landed the harder leather. But I mean, it's tough to say. I've probably missed like a quarter of the fight just looking for shit. What's today? The 12th, right? Show link 12. Ooh, nice little body shot from Maxie Hughes. Beautiful left from Maxie Hughes. Yo, he is landing stiff leather. By comparison, Usmanov is not landing. It's just nothing. Like I graduated from the Max Kellerman School of how to judge boxing. And I didn't earn my degree without learning rule number 1, and that is judge a round by who would you rather be in that round, right? Who would you rather be? Like if you had to be one of the fighters in that round, in that, what took place, well, who would you rather be, right? And that helps. I'd say answer who wins around like 9 out of 10 times. I would say that, it is a very accurate tool to utilize if your desire is to get an accurate scorecard. Um, especially if you're having trouble with swing rounds. And there's no like my thing is I hate the people that go online and are like, this is my scorecard. Like, okay, fuck, I like fine. I mean, that's cool. You want to share your card, but like don't make it sound like it's the end all be all. Don't make it sound like for some reason your scorecard has more weight than someone else's, right? Like I remember we used to do that at the Boxy Voice, and it just felt so douchey, because we had like a whole commission of people that did like pound for pound. Like the Boxy Voice used to have its own fucking everything. I mean, maybe they still do. I have no idea. But we used to have a commission. Oh, big left from Maxie Hughes. Partially blocked, but he let that thing fly, brother. Usmanov is I would compare him to like a off-speed pitcher, right? This isn't a guy with this guy's got like an 88-mile-an-hour fastball on average. He might top out at 90, 91, right? But he's a finesse pitcher. He's going to utilize curveballs, changeups, different sort of finesse pitches and off-speed stuff to trick you. And that is Usmanov. He throws these kind of slow, almost rigid punches in very tight sequence. And so he's landing. They're just not having a big effect. That's not like anything you would be scared of, like running into. Oh no, I'm gonna run into this 3-punch combination that is, maybe like 60% his effort. Uh, uh, down. Yeah. Ooh, Usmanov put a nice little sequence together. These punch combinations are effective because they're short and they're tight, but they're not damaging. All right, so D I think is gonna come on. Hopefully, we'll see if he comes on. He's able to join us last minute, so that I appreciate it very much. Yo, shout out to Ness, shout out to Abe, shout out to Machine Gun Matt, Super Mex, all the people over this last 2 weeks that have jumped on very last minute. Most of them were like maybe 30 minutes to an hour before I went live, so they all came through. And shout out to Ness, man. I know he's like super busy. He's live for like 6 hours a fucking day, bro, talking like Crawford. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck, dude. Like, that's tough. That's a tough gig. I have fun playing Undisputed in WWE 2K, and I love chopping it up with y'all. You know what I mean? So it's like a win-win for me. I was already gonna watch this fight, so watching it with y'all, this is awesome. You know what I mean? I get to smoke. I get to have my one Dr. Pepper for the day, or for the weekend, I guess. Whatever. Fuck. Don't tell my wife if I have one on Saturday. But yeah, man, I'm not covering SmackDown tonight for fightsatw.com, but you should go to fightsatw.com. That's fightsaroundtheworld.com. And bookmark it for your go-to place for combat sports. Yours truly covers SmackDown and Raw twice weekly for fightsatw.com. But there are a host of what I consider pound for pound top three best staff in combat sports, specifically boxing writers. The amount of boxing talent or the amount of talented boxing writers at fightsatw.com is it's unique. It's a unique thing at this point in time, Maybe not 10 years ago, certainly not 20 years ago, but today it's very unique to have that many solid writers under one roof. And it's a wide variety, like I'm an old soul, dude. Like I don't really vibe with, you know, I mean, do I have the Riz? Certainly I have the Riz. Um, am I too old to use the word Riz? That's the question. And yes, I feel probably yes. That guy's bored as shit. The girl's picking her nose on camera. You got fucking got in 4K, bitch. Oh, and I got it. Oh, you got caught in motherfucking 4K. You got caught in motherfucking 4K. Picking your nose next to your man's. And now we know that he put boogers in his hands. Ooh, yo, Maxie Hughes got hit with a body shot. Left combination. Brutal. Oh, man. And that's the thing that the commentators said in this fight that I think is very, very apropos. And I also think they nailed it. They said that, is there a potential that the strategy going into this for Usmanov was Maxie Hughes is going to tire down the stretch? And they questioned whether or not it was right or wrong, but it seemed to be what they felt was, and they probably have a lot more tape on him and seen him a lot more to, be able to pick up little nuanced things like that. But it does now make sense, right? Being able to play Monday morning quarterback right now and say, oh, yeah, this looks like Usmanov is starting to turn it up a little. He's starting to put a little more juice behind those punches. He's starting to give Maxie Hughes a little less breathing room between offensive sequences. The fight script is starting to play out in a way that favors Usmanov much more than it did, even 5 rounds ago or even 3 rounds ago. Yeah, now he's starting to turn it up and he's doing some nice work to the body. He's got this like half a shoe shine move that he does, which is very, very, very nice. What the hell? Champy, what's going on? I got D Style in the building.
I'm in the building. How's the sound? Does that sound good?
You're a little low, but you sound crisp and clear. Let me see. Maybe that's my. Oh, it's my audio. My bad.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, that was me. I was.
How does it sound now?
You sound perfect.
Right, you
Crisp.
can hear the mic.
Yeah, you sound crisp and clear.
Awesome. All right, that's good.
So. Oh, what the hell? Okay,
What
there.
happened?
So man, appreciate you tapping in with us, big dog. I've been wanting you all in all week. I've been following your social media discourse
Sure. What do you think
for the
about it?
last several days.
Yeah.
A good longtime listener of a community member, HDL, and you have been going back and
HLD. HLD.
forth.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
HLD, I said HDL. HLD have been going back and forth on a topic that I don't want you to burn on. You have talked about this and you've extensively talked about it. You can go to D Style Show, search on YouTube. Awesome program. Um, but and he does wrestling too
Sure.
sometimes. But I don't understand the crux of this thing, right? Like you are saying essentially that the WBC is not a business in the
They're not.
way that Coca-Cola is a business, right?
No, no. I'm not just saying that. That they're not.
Okay.
Factually, they're not.
If you want to break it down, please.
They're a nonprofit organization. They are a C6, right? So that is their primary function. That is what the WBC does.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, can they have a surplus? Sure, but they need to account for everything. So let's say you own a company and I own a company, right?
Yeah.
For the sake of argument, yours is a for-profit business, so everything Mario makes, Mario gets to keep. Now Mario has to file income taxes, right? Like you need to pay your taxes, all that good stuff. But whatever you do with the profits of that money is yours to do with what you can do whatever you want with it. But if I have a nonprofit, if I'm running a league, like in this case, like if I'm a sanctioned organization for a league, like the WBC is, then I need to. I'm allowed, of course, to charge sanctioning fees like they do. They actually also charge dues. I guess I don't know if there's promoters that pay that or whatever,
Hmm.
right? And they pay into it. But everything that I spend, all of it, is has to be accounted for, right? For it needs to be. I could only use it for operating costs to pay salaries, benefits for the employees, and uh, any surplus from there has to be used for whatever common cause my organization is for, and it needs to be accounted for, all of it.
So I understand that. And the first thing that I thought when I heard you speak about this was church, right? The way that church kind of works. You
Different but
know,
same.
okay, yeah, exactly, right. And my only really understanding of it is like Scientology documentaries, right? And like
Yeah.
understanding like how big that was, for their religion, and that they probably wouldn't have survived if they didn't get that code or extension or whatever it was. And so it does work similar to that, in which there are no real profits. Anything that is made goes back into serving the same institution, correct?
Should, yeah.
It should. It
Yeah.
should. Now, if they were a business, would there be more accounting for what it comes in and what goes out and things like that? Are businesses held to a more scrutinized set of terms and understandings than these?
Well,
I'm
yes and
sorry. Say it
no.
one more time. What was it? What did you call it
Okay, so
again?
when you're a
The
nonprofit
number?
organization, right?
Uh huh.
It's a C6, but
C6. Thank you.
um, when you're a nonprofit organization, right? You're tax exempt, right? And you get to keep and enjoy tax exempt status. Now, in order to keep tax exempt status, right, the WBC has basically they have an exempt status that they have, and that has to do with like because of what the type of organization that they are. As I mentioned, operating costs, salaries, all understandable, and then they have a mission statement, right? They have to use all their money has to be allocated towards this, and this is, and I'll read you their mission statement word for word. The World Boxing Council is committed to supporting the development of amateur boxing programs and providing high-level services to amateur boxers. The WBC, hold on, give me a second. This is the wrong one, right? I apologize for that.
No, 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 no big deal at all.
Okay, I found it. Right.
Hey, I'm live
Well,
for I'm live for two and a half hours
they
here.
can
So
actually get they actually do get involved with that as well. So this is actually a broader form of the statement. Actually, it's not the wrong one. So I'll just continue reading from there. The WBC Amateur Committee is dedicated to organizing well-run tournaments, assisting in training and equipment, providing medical and nutrition information, and offering advice and education. The organization aims to present the highest level of sports entertainment and support amateur boxers. So this is from their amateur program, by the way. So I don't
mhm.
even know why I brought this one up, but
Well,
I did.
I think that overall the main like point is being grasped, and that is that the difference is clear
Right,
between a business that is about making profits, that answers to shareholders and has board members and the whole 9 yards, right?
right.
Versus an institution like this that is not as regulated, is not, it doesn't as adhere to the same sort of standards, and also very very much is not meant to be profited off of, right? um there
I
were
finally got it, by the way. So
go
I
ahead.
apologize for that. So
No, no, no. No problem.
this is their mission statement. The World Boxing Council. This is directly. This is what they put in their taxes and everything. Okay, to protect boxers' safety and health inside and outside of the boxing ring while promoting the sport to its highest standard. The WBC also focuses on creating and enforcing rules applicable to boxers, promoters, and their representatives, and conducts educational and charitable activities for the benefit of active and retired fighters. Additionally, the WBC aims to aid retired boxers in need of providing financial assistance and support. So that is their mission statement. So basically, in not so many words, they need to basically show inner taxes and all their spending. This is what we're spending it on because that's the reason they're tax exempt.
Got you, got you, got you. So let me ask you this. Nick Khan,
Sure.
who is the president of WWE, TKO, who owns
Sure.
UFC and works hand in hand with Ryder Season in Turkey in the ring. Um,
Right.
he recently did the Pat McAfee podcast, and in that
Right.
interview, he made some pretty damning statements, statements that were meant to be, received as negative on Mauricio Suleiman. And while I don't
Mm.
believe he ever mentioned him by name specifically, he
Okay.
did clearly refer to him as, the WC guy. Um,
Yeah.
in that interview, he mentioned WBC president Mauricio Suleiman expecting certain accoutrements, expecting a certain accommodations, more than
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
expected. So they were willing to do a hotel, but he wanted to stay in a nicer hotel. And again, this is all accusations that have been made by
Mm.
one side. And then, oh, he needed a car or it wasn't big enough, and he needed this and that. And then he needed front row tickets and they had to be front row.
Right.
And so all these things that the rest of boxing already knows, right? Oscar knows we got to give Suleiman these tickets, right? Top
Mm.
Rank knows, okay, we got to give Mauricio this, or WBC is going to expect that.
Right.
But these new guys in town, he came and he wanted to make it very clear this is the way it's going to go. From what you are saying, from your perspective and everything that you have been covering and talking about for the last 6 days or so, is that wrong? Does that cross a line? More than a moral thing, like more than like people trying to virtue signal, does it cross an actual line, do you think? Asking or expecting
I
those
mean,
kinds of accommodations?
look, if I'm honest, if I give a balanced kind of perspective here, keep in mind that look, Khan knows who Mauricio Suleiman is, right? He knows who he is, right? He knows
Yes,
Eddie Hearn is Eddie Hearn and not Edward Hearn. Like he knows this. Like he's not
absolutely.
but
He
the
worked in
reason
boxing before WWE, if people
he's
didn't know
trying to
that.
disrespect them, right? He's trying to show like they're so irrelevant. I don't even memorize their names. We don't need them. That's what that's about,
Low
right?
bro in him.
Yeah. So I mean that is what it is. But look, this whole sport, the entire sport of boxing is so full of shit. Like it nobody follows the rules. No, no, like it's not a sport where I could say, yeah, let's totally stay moral about it. So it should like it's just a matter of opinion. Should Mauricio Suleiman be getting this special treatment, suites, accommodations, so many amount of tickets for the fight? That's a matter of opinion, I guess. Like you know what I mean. If he does, he
Is it
doesn't.
though? Is it though?
It's
Because listen,
irrelevant to me. But
I well,
go ahead.
listen, but okay, from this perspective, right? And I'm not trying to make this political at all. I'm just trying to use an example, right? Like,
Sure.
I don't think our president should be able to make fucking bitcoins and meme coins and profit while he is in the presidency, right?
A little
Afterwards, you
different,
want
but
to do
yeah.
whatever the fuck you want, do whatever the fuck you want. To me, it crosses a line. There is a line that's beyond morals, beyond virtue, and there is a right or wrong here based on the way America works, based on the way that our Constitution is fundamentally set up and the beliefs that we have had for decades and decades and decades, right? Absolutely ruptured by the idea of a sitting president profiting off of that office. So then I ask you now, in that perspective, is Mauricio Suleiman not profiting off of his place in a nonprofit by asking for accommodations beyond whatever is being given to him?
I guess what I'm saying is, who's to say where a president of a sanctioned body gets to stay in Las Vegas during the weekend of a Canelo Crawford fight, right? Like I don't know who's the arbiter of that. Like I have no idea. Is what
It's
I'm
a
trying to say,
fair point.
right?
It's a fair point.
It does seem like if Mauricio is used to that, those are the type of accommodations he gets for that level of fight, and then TKO, in this case, Zuffa Boxing, is giving him a lower standard of accommodation, and he brought it up to their attention. Therefore, Khan is bringing it up. Look, I'm not the biggest Mauricio Suleiman fan, but it's clear to me that was brought up as a smear, right? Like I'm pretty sure Khan didn't stay at the Motel 6 that weekend, right?
No.
I'm sure neither did members of TKO, but um, I think where Mauricio Suleiman stays on fight week is, I think there's a bigger conversation to have, right? And it's what I mentioned in the former here. Like, what, why would it be normalized for him to feel this way in the first place, where he feels entitled to this money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who has enabled this behavior? And me, given the amount that everyone else has to pay their expenses, right? Um, why can't their sanction, what they're already getting in the sanctioning fee, cover their hotel and all that? Like you know what I mean? Like it's, I, I I find that strange, for sure. But I don't know. I don't know if that's out of the normal or not.
Yeah.
But that's
I
at least, that's just the least of my issues with Mauricio. Does it show a pattern of his character? Sure, but my biggest problem with Mauricio is the fact that, that pales in comparison to, I'm looking at their tax forms, and so you have about 1.5 million allocated for salaries. Some may say
Usmanov
that,
won, by the way.
what's that?
Oh, I was watching the Maxi Hughes fight, and Usmanov beat Maxi Hughes.
Gotcha. So I mean, so 1.5 million for salaries, 400,000 for travel, about 120,000 for, the um for like their meetings and stuff like that. But all that's cool. But then I look at the other, and it's at 2.2 million.
Damn.
What's the other?
Other?
What are you spending? Like, what does that mean?
So what is
and
that total? I'm sorry, I should have been doing the math.
well, the total is like over 5 million, right?
Yo,
But
that's
like
crazy.
1.5 million is going to salary and 2.2 million is going to other,
Yeah, that's almost half of your.
right? So 41% is on other. What is that money going to exactly? How do we not know that they're not running a slush fund and using most of that money to pocket it, right? So I'm not all that concerned about him demanding a suite during Canelo fight week. I'm concerned about the money he's receiving. What is he doing with that money,
Yeah, no,
right?
no, no. I agree. And here's the thing. To me, it all kind of speaks to itself because I
Mm.
remember when the FIFA scandal happened. I remember when that story broke wide open, and
Sure.
then HBO did the Real Sports segment on it, and to find out the level of corruption that was, I mean, they were a mafia. They were basically a mafia. That's what the FIFA organization was. They do
Mm.
shakedowns. They did, they threaten people. I mean, not with their lives and stuff, but in other ways that would hurt their professional career within soccer. Like it all speaks to that to me. And how many of us have seen those documentaries, right? That documentary, the one with Don King, right? And what do we see? We saw the IBF taking a fucking bribe, dude, like
Yeah.
on camera. You know what I'm saying? Like this was a thing that happened not very long ago. People think that, this mafia mob stuff that happened, it was like in the 50s, in the 60s, in the 20s, in the 80s. No, dude, that shit happened in like 98, 2000, 2001. You know what I'm saying? So I want to ask you this. There
Sure.
are, because you're talking about what matters to you, what's resonating to you and stuff like that. HLD isn't the only one. There are a lot of people that seem to be very, very defensive of the WBC, their place in the sport, and ultimately, I think their future. And so, what I think a lot of people are seeing is sides are dividing. Are we going to become this UFC version of boxing? Is boxing going to become this UFC version? Get rid of the Ali Act and Ryder season and Turkey and the ring and TKO, they all win, right? And WBC and everybody else gets pushed out. That's the fear. I think for a lot of them. Do you think that's a rational fear? Do you fear that? Is there any part about you that wouldn't enjoy or appreciate them pushing the sanctioning bodies out of the sport like that? What do you think?
Look, the sanctioning bodies have nobody to blame but themselves. Well, one last point I wanted to make, just because
Sorry, yeah, go ahead.
When I was looking into and by the way, just for the record, this isn't me doxing them or me like all this is public information.
This is all public record. Yeah, this is all public
record.
Info.
They're a nonprofit. Yeah. They're tax exempt. We're able to see all this stuff. All right. I thought, well, look, maybe this is normal with nonprofits, right? I don't like the look of it, but maybe that's the way they all operate.
Fair.
So out of curiosity, I looked into there's like this rugby league, right? That's also runs as a C6. And I'm looking at it, and the way, it just puts the WBC to shame with the way it just itemized all of their spending, right? It's just beautifully itemized. You see all the spending at the very end. They had I think it was 15,000.
Damn.
In other, right? The 15,000 was on the other. That's it. Out of 11 million that they received, right? So I'm looking at this, and more than double what the WBC received, and they have this low amount. And then I thought, well, maybe. Because I'm a critical thinker.
Sure.
I'm like, okay, well, maybe this is the way. Maybe it's just different because it's a sanctioning body for boxing. This is a rugby league, a little different, right?
Yeah.
So then I checked out the IBF, and again, the IBF itemized everything beautifully. It's all on my Twitter, by the way. People want to see it. It's just beautifully itemized, and at the very end, and I already forgot the number off the top of my head. I used to have a better memory, but I used to be better at chess too. But I think it was 26,000 or something like that on the other.
Wow.
And they had everything.
What a discrepancy. What a discrepancy. These aren't small, these aren't oopsie numbers. These aren't, accounting miscalculation. These are giant percentage jumps.
Right? Look, I could see somebody say, what does that matter? It is what it is. What is it to you, right? Well,
I can't imagine anybody being so dim to ask why that would matter.
Yeah, but let's just address.
Let's assume there are. Absolutely. Right? I like your logic.
So the only reason I even looked into this, to Mauricio Suleiman strip search Crawford,
is to dunk on HDL. No, play HLD. Yeah.
He gets on his high horse, and he's over here shaming the man, right? Most of this was going to go to the Jose Suleiman Foundation and all this other stuff to help retired fighters, basically calling him a piece of shit for not giving them money so they could help retired fighters, right? And, at first I was thinking, my first kind of hypothesis was, well, you're not a charity anyway. You're a freaking sanctioning body. Collect the sanctioning fee, cover your operating costs, right? But then the more I looked into it, I'm like, wow, they do have a mission statement. I read it to you, right? The second one, that was correct. And okay, it's fair game for them to charge in order to spend on this stuff. He's saying he's going to see that over 200,000 of what Crawford's 200,000 was going to go to this charity, right? So I wanted to see the allocation. I wanted to see how that money is dispersed. So then I saw reports. I saw some people put out, well, only 900,000 in the last 11 years has gone to that charity. So I started questioning. Okay, well, I don't know. Maybe these people are wrong. I mean, maybe they don't have all the details. Let me just look at their tax filings, right? They're a nonprofit. That's what I did.
Sure.
I looked into it. I'm looking at their expenses. I'm looking line item. So far, so good. And then I get to the other, and I'm like, this isn't adding up, bro. Like, it's not adding up at all. And other nonprofits put the exact salary, by the way. I don't know if they're required to or not, but they put the exact salary of their CEO, like the people running it, right? The WBC just has a very vague 1.5 million for employee expenses, and that's it. So we don't even know what Marisho's getting, right? And maybe we
Yeah.
don't need to know that detail. I'm sure Marisho has to file his own taxes separately, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm looking at is that plus the 2.2 million, and we're looking at half of what they take, really not being accounted for. Like, we don't know what that money goes to. So if you're going to be making claims that you had to strip Crawford because you really need this money to give it to your foundation, but I can't really see any evidence that you're putting most of the money to the foundation, then I have to naturally question, what's going on here, right?
What and where does the Terrence Crawford's not accusation, is it true? His criticism of WBC's fee being higher. Now a lot of people, and I've seen,
Sure.
going back and forth with you talking about the brand and what the brand is worth, while others criticize that, having pictures of Ali and others on your belt help
things, right?
Where does that fit into your narrative?
Let's touch on a couple of things, right? Like,
go ahead.
I'm sure you've heard a lot of this, and a lot of people are talking this way, and it's, oh man, how do you think you got there, Crawford? They ranked you. These sanctioning bodies are important. They help these fighters on the way up. And once you make it, once you get your big payday, you tell them to fuck off. That's wrong, right? My only problem with that argument, right, is that, in all seriousness, they're a nonprofit, bro. You're not here to get it. Like, that argument is an argument of return of investment, right? When Mauricio Suleiman says, I built statues in a ring, I built a special belt, the WBC invested a lot in this event, so that's why we charge what we charge. And it's like, okay, but you're not supposed to be trying to get a return on your investment here. Like, that's not the way you should function as a company. That's number one, right? Because you're a nonprofit. Second, I think you directly asked, about the WBC getting more, Crawford making that argument. Honestly, all I gotta like I don't like to answer questions with a question. I don't. But asking this question, I think, answers the question, and that's, why was it good enough for the other three sanctioning bodies? Why was it good enough for the IBF? Why was it good enough for the WBA? Why was it good enough for the WBO, but not good enough for Mauricio Suleiman? Right? And this is where the sweet thing comes in, right? Like it's not that I care about the sweet, but it could kind of tell you the character of Mauricio and his entitlement, right? I think he believes that WBC is more valuable than the other three sanctioning bodies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that's just the way it is, bro. A fighter has a right, and I'll always be supportive of a fighter negotiating their worth and negotiating their sanctioning fees. Their own bylaws, their own rules say you can negotiate them, right? And if it was good enough for the other three, why wasn't it good enough for the WBC? Why wasn't it good enough?
Yeah, I think that's a big part of the question.
If you want, like, this is where my opinion comes in. I think the greed of Mauricio Suleiman is the only reason we're having this conversation.
I think that's a very apropos statement. I don't think you're wrong. I think that, in fact, you're probably more right than that. I don't think it's just Mauricio Suleiman, and obviously you know that. Have you ever donated to very specific place in this?
Have you ever donated to a charity?
I have, yes.
Okay. Like I donated to the Wounded Warriors Project. Okay,
Awesome, man. Very, very
so
great. Great cause.
yeah, so like they always have like if you go to their website, like it'll have like like do you want to pay one time or monthly? And then it has like recommended amounts, right? And then they'll have like, hey, if you give this amount, we'll give you like a Wounded Project beanie or a Wounded Warriors Project
Yeah.
blanket or like they'll offer you something for it, right? And they have these amount. Then they have another line in the bottom and it says, um, any amount is welcome. Like if you can't pay these recommended amounts, it's okay. Like we'll take anything. We're appreciative of anything, basically, right? Um, and then of course, you want to pay monthly. Do you want to pay one time? Right now, I'm talking specifically about the charity part here, right? According to Mauricio Suleiman, that this is from his words, not my words. It was 300,000, and I may have the number wrong, but I think he said 225,000 of that was going to go to the Jose Suleiman Fund to help fighters in need, right?
Yep.
So you're telling me that roughly 80, like, what would that be? 75,000 was for operating costs, your salary, all that got covered, right? And the rest was going to go to charity. But the amount that Crawford was willing to give you, I just want people to think about it. But the amount that Crawford was going to give you wasn't good enough.
Yo, that is a very good point. I didn't even think of it that
Most
way.
of it's going to go to the charity to help fighters in need. And now, because it wasn't the amount you wanted, now none of that money is going to go to fighters in need. Right?
That's the first time I've heard anybody make that point. This is the first time I've heard in the last 2 weeks we've been going over this. I have not heard
Now,
anyone
before
make
somebody,
this
but it's
point.
not a charity style. Like, I know this, but Mauricio's saying it's going to go to in this case it will be a
It's like
3C.
in court. It's like in court when you can't bring something up, but the prosecutor opens his mouth about it, and now it's free reign for you to talk about.
But
You know? And that's what this is
they're
he
allowed
opened
to
the door to this
allocate.
convo.
But they're allowed to allocate the funds to it could be to a C4, a C3. It could be to they can allocate
Shout
the
out
funds however
Rebby,
they want,
Jap.
right? It's in their mission statement to help retired fighters, so that I get it. They could do that, right? But you're telling me that most of it wasn't like he claims. Well, why did Mauricio say after the fact it was all going to go to help fighters in need? Because he doesn't want fighters to look at him as a greedy motherfucker, right? Like that's like, it was all going to go to this charity, but that's why he stripped them. That's like, could you imagine a charity not taking any amount because they want to extort you for a higher amount?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I
yeah,
tell
yeah.
them like if this month I'm having a rough month and I'm like, man, you know what? I'm gonna just give $10 to the Wounded Warriors Fund. Like I couldn't imagine them emailing me and be like, "Nah, take your money back. This is for Wounded Warriors, and we gave you a beanie D style, and you're only gonna give $10." Like they're not gonna do that, bro. If most of it's going to the charity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then and your operating costs are getting covered. Why would your conclusion be, well, we got to strip them, right? Furthermore, why make the argument about making statues and why make the argument about the ring that you and all the promoting you did, right? If like you know what I mean, like because you're basically out loud saying, yeah, all that was covered. It's just that we wanted more for the charity, but Crawford didn't want to give more to the charity, and I just have an issue with that argument that Mauricio made.
Yeah. No, that's a very, very interesting take. I will say this, and I don't know if this is a good analogy or not. In my head, it sounds like it works, but
Sure.
there was one time I was a kid, and PBS was having this telethon, right? And I was like, Mom, Dad, we got to donate. You know, we need to help whatever cause it was. And so they end up donating, I think it was like $25, and that was enough to get like this
Yeah.
PBS like thing. It was like a little booklet or whatever, right? And I wanted them to donate 50 because you got like this blanket, and it was like really cool. It had like baseball, like, you know, different sports figures on it.
Look at
And they were
Virtuoso's
like,
comment.
no, it was like, no, I'm not going to do it. And they sent me the blanket on accident. And we called them, we told them everything, and they were like, oh yeah, just keep it. And I know that's not the exact same thing, but it's like a situation where none of that shit's really worth what they, you know, it's not worth $50. You know what I mean? Like that, they wouldn't make any money if it was worth it. You know, it's pennies on the dollars to make most of these things that they're giving away at these tiers. You know what I'm saying? And so it's a situation where they need the money, you know, and that's real need. That's real, you know, desperation. Whose was it? You said?
Yeah, there you go.
Virtual. So the WBC is a tax exempt money laundering scheme.
Like,
Bro,
I'm
sorry. I wasn't going to say it. He said it. I wasn't going to say it since he said
I have every reason to believe that they're running a slush fund, bro. Like, I have every reason to believe that. Like, it's just what it is.
Yikes.
Right?
Yikes.
Yikes.
And allegedly, D.
And I'll
allegedly.
take it further, right?
Oh, God.
No. Look, here's the thing. Like, here's the thing what people need to understand about the WBC, okay?
Okay.
I'm tired of people talking about them like they're above it, like they're above criticism. We can't say anything, we can't question anything, right? No. I'm a taxpayer, right? Terrence Crawford's a taxpayer. You're a taxpayer, right? Like, and why is that relevant? Well, that's relevant because these motherfuckers are tax exempt. So they don't have a right to privacy. They don't have a right to like, hey, don't look into our stuff. Don't ask us questions about what we're spending money on. No. Not only do we have a right to ask questions, we can demand, right? Like we can literally be like, no. You need to show us what you're spending this money on. Otherwise, you shouldn't be tax-free. You shouldn't be tax exempt. Right? If you want the privileges of a private-owned company or something like that, then go be a for-profit business. No one's stopping the WBC from being that. At that point, if I get access to your tax forms and I expose them to the world, then obviously I would be doing something I shouldn't be doing. Right?
Absolutely.
So we can say whatever we want. We're like, hey, that looks suspicious. I don't think you should be spending money on that. Like, what do you spend? We can ask questions. We can be like, what are you spending that money on? Where's that money going, Mauricio? Right? You claim like 80% of Crawford's sanctioning fees are going to go to a charity, right? So do 80% of all sanctioning fees go to charities, or like what? Like, how does that work exactly? And can we see the transfer? Can we see where it's allocated?
So
we have a right to ask that.
No, absolutely. But I do want to interject this into it, okay? And you can connect the narratives if you want, or if it's a separate thing that you see, a separate point, fine. But what we saw was essentially this whole Terrence Crawford, WBC, Mauricio Suleiman beef breakout. And then days leading or later, in the following days, we would see the WBC sanction a fight scheduled for the weight class below. But because one of those fighters missed weight, the WBC decided to sanction an interim title at a new weight class with
100%.
less than 24 hours before the fight. D, I find this problematic. What do you think of this? Is this tied to the greater narrative and scheme of things?
It goes back to their own mission statement, where they, in their own words, they say, right? I wonder if I could just copy paste it on the comments or something, but where they just literally just say, and it says in their mission statement, promoting the sport of boxing to its highest standards, the WBC focused on creating and enforcing rules applicable to boxing promoters and their representatives, and conducts educational and charitable activities. Right?
You can share it on the screen if you can.
Like,
if that's what you're asking, I didn't know.
No, we're cool. But it's. I think I posted it there, but
Nice.
I guess it's in different comments. But it is what
No, no, no.
that's how
It
I posted it,
works. It'll
right?
work.
But that is your own mission statement. Like, how in the world is this pushing the highest standard by doing what you just described? How is enforcing like? I find it funny how they don't include enforcement rules for themselves. You notice how they don't put that in the mission statement
Not at all.
because they don't follow their own rules, bro.
Ever. Ever. And that's the frustrating part for me with this band of people that
Plus,
seem
they fuck
so
over
protective of the
fighters.
WBC.
They fuck over fighters all the time. They don't enforce their mandatories when they're supposed to, when it's convenient. All right, that they don't. They'll give a guy like Ryan Garcia, a title shot, even though he's
Another
coming off a
great point.
loss to
Another great
Rosomero.
point.
They'll a fighter doesn't make weight, and they let him fight in a weight class above that for an interim title. This is like just dumb, bro. So I have no sympathy for them. That a fighter was like, you think I'm gonna give Crawford a hard time for negotiating down a sanctioning fee that other three sanctioning bodies accepted when the fighter's not tax exempt? The fighter needs to pay 40% of Uncle Sam, and the fighter needs to give money to his trainers, his team. The other three sanctioning bodies.
It don't break out. It don't cut. It don't cut a long way. That's what people don't understand is it doesn't go a long way. When we started covering this sport, dude, in 2013, 14, I had no idea the real expenses that a fighter occurs. And that's the other part about it is like they always talk about, oh, well, they'll give them money when they get to a certain level for nutritionists or coaches or whatever. And it's like, yeah, but this is a guy whose only job is to train, right? So like the expenses of living, taking care of your children, school supplies, food, like all the daily living shit is factored into his professional job. So this money, again, that's already split and divided up at least 5 ways for most fighters is, I mean, not equally, obviously, but there's a split that's automatically coming out of your check the moment it's received. And so that is all on top of what the cost of living is and the demands of it.
Yeah.
And by the way, flashiness is also a part of the lifestyle and branding, right? How many people would watch Devin Haney the way they do if he wasn't,
When people make the argument, oh, he's being greedy, he's being this, he's being that. Look, even if I don't personally think he's being greedy, but even if you feel he's being greedy, right? The reality is he's in a position to be greedy. The WBC's not. Okay? If the WBC wants to be greedy, right? If they want to be like that, then don't go be a for-profit business then, right? If you want to be greedy, go be greedy. Go like all the arguments people are making. If you want to do business with them and hold their belt, and those sound like for-profit business arguments to me. Like they don't sound like a tax-exempt non-profit business to me. Like that's not what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, I know. I think you still go on there from time to time, but I saw this clip from the Boxing Voice, where one of the hosts there was comparing holding the WBC belt to the Rockefeller chain that Jay-Z used to give boxers. Apparently,
Jesus,
right?
That's the worst analogy.
So I heard that, and I'm just thinking to myself, right?
Not even close.
When you hold that chain, that means you were the dude. Look, I don't know about you. I don't think Nas ever held that chain. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think Ether required him holding a Rockefeller chain. Like, you know what I mean?
Nope.
If anything, the song said "fuck Jay-Z," right? So, like, it is what it is. I don't think Eminem ever needed the Rockefeller chain. I don't think Dr. Dre needed the Rockefeller chain. I don't think NWA. Like, I don't even know a lot about hip hop, but I'm just guessing, right?
No.
But even so, Rockefeller Records is not a for-profit business, though, right? Like, it's not. Like, at the end of the day, that's not what it is. If the WBC wants to be like that, if WBC wants to be, hey, look, man, our brand is so powerful that boxers just holding our belt makes them millions of dollars. Like you really believe that? Then go be a for-profit business then.
Bro, I you're so right about this though. You're so right about this, but the frustrating part is that and I'm not even picking on you. All right. I think it's DSC Sanchez. I'm not picking on you at all, but I am saying this, right? To say that, Crawford has to comply is giving WBC a level of authority that they don't have, that they've never had. Like, why does Crawford have to comply when the WBC doesn't
it's all
comply?
about frame. Like what people don't understand, right? And they don't like it when I do it back to them, but it's about framing, right?
Sure, absolutely.
And if you want, if people are there, if they don't like Crawford, they're gonna frame it as
Negative on
Crawford
Crawford.
agreed to pay and he didn't pay, right?
Yeah.
But they at the same time, it's like, how do you know that? Like, how do we
Easy with
know
the
that
E.
Crawford
All right.
ever
Thanks,
agreed
Remy.
to paying that amount? Like, who said that he agreed to that? Like, it's a he said, she said at this point. Crawford said he didn't agree to that, right? And I
Yeah.
find it odd. I find it very odd, right, that they're trying to collect for previous sanctioning fees, according to Suleiman, right? And even Crawford said they're trying to get 100,000 back from me, right? So I don't know if you know this. They wanted to charge Crawford a sanctioning fee for the Madrimal fight, right? Even though the WBC title was not on the line. And the reason Mauricio said he charged a sanctioning fee is because he created a Riyadh season belt, number one, right? And second, he said that the Team Crawford reached out to WBC to petition so Crawford could be ranked within the WBC, right?
Yeah, that's
And that's why they wanted to get $100,000 from Crawford.
Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Like that's absolutely insane because
that's
we
insane.
know. But let me make this point. Like we know this for a fact. Like we know you don't need to petition anything because Ryan Garcia was suspended by the WBC, got beat up by Rolly Romero, and he's getting a title shot, right? Errol Spence came back after losing to Crawford. He was going to get a title shot against Fedora, right? He didn't have to petition anything, right?
Yeah.
So like you're telling me because of a petition to put him in the rankings, you wanted 100,000? Like what type of greedy ass shit is that?
That's crazy. That's crazy. And then here's the other part of it too, right? Because this idea that like he has to comply. And by the way, Daisy, again, I'm not picking on you at all. This is a narrative that's coming from social media. Yo, by the way, that's a really pretty way to spell that. I love it. But at the end of the day, I think that you go and you say, okay, well, they ranked him here and they did this here and they built up his career. What I remember is the WBC never, ever pressuring Earl Spence to defend that title against the guy who was ranked number one. What I remember is constantly the WBC backtracking and WBC politics continuing to get away or to get in the way of a fight that took place probably 4 years late than it should have been. And so, what do they owe him at the end of the day? He made his career despite not being WBC champion.
Well, we already know, we're not dumb. We know that if someone has a world title, right, that you could just do a unification or an undisputed fight with the other title holder, right? You don't need to be petitioned to be ranked by WBC to fight for undisputed if you already have the WBO, WBA, or another belt, right? Like it's the whole thing is ridiculous. And
it's such a frustrating conversation, dude. It really is.
And now we know because for years, because here's what I love about this. For years I've been saying, yeah, that motherfucker, he makes those special belts because he wants to make money off of them.
Exactly.
Right? And now he revealed it. Now is he saying outright? He doesn't say, hey, I made a Riyadh season WBC belt, so I deserve to get a sanctioning fee for that belt. Well, he can't do that, right? He can't do that, but he petitioned, and we're going to put him in the rankings is part of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
He creates the belt in the process, but by the way, the promoters pay for the belt. right?
You
Like
know,
that's the other thing. People don't know.
and that's the other part too. And I'm responding specifically to Daisy's comment right here because you're right. You're right. He agreed, and then you get down to the what's your word worth and stuff. But the reason it doesn't make me mad is because the history, the data in the history shows us that when a fighter reaches a certain point, the sanctioning bodies bend over backwards for them. They did it for Floyd, they did it for Oscar, and they did it for Canelo many times. Okay. The point was that Crawford was never going to defend that 168 belt. The point was that he was no longer interested in giving sanctioning fees to the WBC. And the WBC did not have to go about it the way they did, right? This is a nonprofit business, something that I feel D-Style has made a very good case about. At this
Why
point,
couldn't he take
a lawyer building a case. I think he has done it successfully.
why couldn't he take the money, the same amount that the IBF took, the WBA took, the WBO took? Why?
Yeah, why?
And here's the other thing, right? Because I keep hearing people say, "Oh, it's because the WBC he petitioned the WBC in order to get this Canelo fight." You guys need to just stop making shit up. You know damn well the WBC. We didn't need the WBC's authorization to get that fight.
Not
Right?
at all. Not even a little bit.
Like first of
we
all,
needed Turkey's money. That's
first
all
of
we
all,
needed.
like Canelo could have fought him. Period. Like if it was a voluntary defense, he could have done it. Right? That's number one. Second, it was a WBO super champion status that got him that title shot. Right? This whole like the WBC could have like not sanctioned if they wanted. They wouldn't have gotten any of Canelo's money. They wouldn't have gotten any of the money.
They
right?
wanted to be associated with it.
So might as well go fuck himself, bro. He's full of shit. Sorry.
The Canelo Crawford wasn't what it was.
And if he
because
got
the WBC
played,
belt was on the
I
line.
keep hearing people making the argument that he played Mauricio. You know what? If he did play him, good. Right? I have no sympathy for Mauricio Sulaiman because he's been playing boxers for years. Right?
Yeah,
he's
I
been
don't
taking
either.
advantage of boxers that are not in this position for years, right?
Exactly.
Nobody checks them. Nobody checks these motherfuckers. The only ones that could check them are the top line fighters, right? Are the only ones that could do it.
All I know is that they could have gone to Crawford, right? As you said, worked out a deal to take in something. But at the end of the day, if they were going to take the belt because of the sanctioning fees, they went about it in a way where they tried to bury Crawford in the process, right? And again, those kinds of like nasty political things, those are reserved for nasty political businesses like capitalism and business and politics and things like that. Not something that's supposed to be basically a charity.
The lawyer comes out, he's like, you know what to do with that money? They give it to retired fighters and you don't want to help. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, right? And it's all about being on the outside of this Turkey stuff, right? The day Turkey said, "I'm giving keys of boxing to Dana White," was the day that this feud was launched. And don't think that better be David Benavidez fight didn't have something to do with it either.
Mario, let me ask you this, right? So, if you ran a sanctioning body, okay, and a fighter like Terence Crawford just beat Canelo for the belt,
yeah,
right. Let's say you think 300,000 is good. You think that's a good amount, and that's the amount that you present to Crawford, the sanctioning fee that you're going to charge, right?
Sure.
And Crawford comes back and says, "I'll give you 200,000." I don't know the amount Crawford offered, by the way, but let's say that's what it is, right? Now you may hold your nose, you may not like it, right? But and then you hear, "Hey Mario, the IBF took it, the WBA took it, the WBO took it," right? If you know that, okay, you only need 80,000 for operating costs and your salary, right? And the other 120,000 is going to go to a foundation you care deeply about, right? To go help fighters in need. Are you going to take that 200,000, or are you going to do what Mauricio did and strip them?
Yeah, I'm taking that 200,000. Because that 200,000 can go a long way, way longer than zero can.
Right.
My job would be to completely completely have the fun rejuvenated every chance that I get.
Yeah, so all these arguments that people are making, oh, because WBC, they like acting like the WBC is the reason, by the way, that Crawford made 50 million, right?
Yeah, that's crazy, dude.
And
Crazy.
that's just objectively not true.
Eh,
Turkey Al Sheikh and the Saudis forked up the money. We all know that. And
yeah,
there's criticisms that come with that, like, hey, is that blood money? Is that oil money? Like, what's going on? We've already had those discussions, right? But the WBC has nothing to do with the amount of money being spent, right? And
nothing.
here he is, gets a front row seat, gets a suite, right? Gets his brand plastered all over the biggest event of the year, right? Here he is, Mauricio Suleiman in his glory, right? And to me, it's like, bro. And I said this before the fight: just sit down and collect your sanction fee, bro. Like, sit down, shut the fuck up, and collect your sanction fee. That's it. That's all we need you to do, right? But I believe, and this goes back to the framing, that he's being greedy, bro. Like, his greed led to this, right? Like, point blank, period.
I,
And
I I also don't want to ignore the, highly likely possibility that the WBC knew it would be a really bad look to have Canelo Crawford, the fight of the decade,
sure,
and not be associated with it. Have everybody, it's like, because what do these
but
belts
who
mean? Are they
benefits
meant to
more from
represent
it?
the best fighter out there? Or are they meant to represent the best fighter
Right,
willing to pay their fees at that moment? And again, I'm not saying that fighters shouldn't pay their fees if they agree
right,
to them
right.
and things like that. I'm saying that the structure of it is broken. It doesn't work, and the WBC seems more um what's the word, like when they're like just as at fault,
Mm-hmm.
comparable, no, not I forget, but whatever. And so they don't have anywhere to go with this argument to make themselves seem like they're the ones virtue
Right.
signaling. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just
Yeah,
doesn't work that way.
they're just not in a position to be acting the way they're acting. That's point blank, right?
Oh, what a
But
great point from Remy. So many people, and the only person he left off that list that I think is very important, Floyd Mayweather Jr. Like, nobody has a memory, it feels like, at
well,
all.
that was the
Does nobody
WBA
remember
bout.
when
Yeah,
Floyd, was it? Oh, okay, my bad. My bad.
yeah, that was WBA
Well,
bout. He had a
nobody
big
made a
emotional fight.
nobody made a point about it anyway, but regardless,
Um,
I think that that's a fair point that Remy makes.
yeah,
Um I want to talk to you about John Cena before you leave. How much time do you
sure.
have left?
Go ahead, Cook. Maybe
Okay,
like
I
two
just want to
minutes.
make sure. Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. I wanted to talk to you about John Cena this week,
Yeah.
for a couple reasons. One, the biggest reason, obviously, is that in a little over 24 hours, he will be stepping in the ring for the final time. We have it on good
Allegedly.
authority. Allegedly, we have it a good authority that he will be the main event. There were rumors earlier in the week that he was going to open the show, something that I thought was a mistake. He
That was
will main
stupid.
event. I want to ask you, first of all, what is the legacy of a guy like John Cena? What does he mean
Right.
to wrestling and pop culture? How does that relate to Hulk Hogan and Stone Cold and
Mm,
The Rock and all the other guys that got to this upper echelon? Is
right.
John Cena the biggest of them all? And then also, well, I'll ask you the win and loss question after that.
Look, I think. Look, I'm not gonna like front and act like I was the biggest John Cena fan because I wasn't.
Nor
Right.
I.
Um, However, what cannot be denied is that he was extremely like rivaled only honestly by Hulk Hogan, which is hell of a statement in terms of popularity with little kids, right?
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, just and the marketing behind his merchandise was kind of brilliant. So like he had the shirts, he would always switch up the shirts, but he also had like the armbands and the
Yes.
hats and the like you know what
He's
I
a
mean?
merch machine.
Yeah, it's just so like kids, if they go why they want to look like John Cena, that means you got to get the shirt, you got to get the band, you got the like, you got to get the cap, all that good stuff. So, um, I think John Cena will be remembered as the start of the ruthless aggression era,
Mm,
right? And I think he will be, whether people like it or not, just me, just being objective. Even though I'm not his biggest fan, he will belong, whether people like it or not, in the Mount Rushmore of the face of wrestling. Like it's
I
going to be there.
agree. I think that argument settled. The argument I
Yeah.
want to have is he the best? Is he greater than Hulk Hogan?
No.
Does he surpass him?
No.
Okay.
Not even close.
What about in the perspective of John Cena operated in a larger landscape, more
John
eyes
Cena, like
worldwide?
the disadvantage John Cena has in comparison to faces of the past is that um, John Cena was
Remy.
part. John Cena was part of the WWE when it became this like more scripted and because it was more like what's publicly traded, right?
Yeah.
He's part of that era where like they were getting guaranteed contracts. Like the business model was just different. They were getting contracts with USA or Fox or whatever the case is, right?
Hell yeah.
And money was pouring in regardless. And this kind of sucks for John, but he was basically like forced down. Like he's the one face that was kind of forced down people's throats.
Yes.
Right?
Later
Like-
Roman, but yes.
Yeah, that's kind of what that was. It was he was kind of like that. I'm sure Vince has always handpicked who he thinks is going to be the next guy, right?
Yes,
but-
absolutely.
But it was Vince really insisting that this is the guy, right?
Yes,
When Vince cut
absolutely.
those promos and he said, "I know what you want more than you think what you want," however he worded it.
Yo,
right?
that's
That's
such a
that's how
dark,
Vince. That's
brilliant.
Vince.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was such a brilliant segment too. I want to ask you this. Is this like, am I too woke, or am I too much virtual signaling when I offer up this? When you look at Hulk Hogan, the reason why I think John Cena goes down as the better face, the greater face, the reason why I think
Okay.
Cena Nation will outlive Hulkamaniacs is because when you look at the legacy
Well,
of Hulk Hogan, it was all a facade. And I'm not saying that takes away from his run in the 80s and the early 90s. All I'm saying is that he wasn't eating vitamins.
think
He
in
was
10
taking
years,
steroids. He wasn't
I
saying
think
his
Cena
prayers.
I
He
think
was
Cena will be
banging
forgotten,
chicks
but
3 at a time. No, dude, stop, dude. No way
that?
that is true. Okay. First of all, I think that, finishing my point, John Cena represents a
He
higher
was the face of
standard
the low
of
ratings era,
entertainer.
bro. Like, it is what it is.
Dude, the reason that WWE has signed to Netflix, the reason that they're signed to ESPN and
but
making
listen to
these
what I- listen- listen to
billions
what I'm
dollars
telling
is
you.
because of John Cena. He ushered in
No.
this era. Yes, absolutely. He absolutely ushered in this era.
Like the fact that you're disrespecting the tribal chief like that is unbelievable, right? But
Yo,
like,
no,
I'm not saying-
Roman has a lot to do with it. We'll have that conversation
I'm
when
not
it comes.
saying that. Like I literally called him one of the. Like, he's going to
92,
be on
bro.
the
You're
Mount
tripping.
Rushmore of faces. Like, you know what I mean? That's a compliment. Okay. But what I'm telling you is, he doesn't compare to Hulk Hogan or Stone Cold. Like those two are like in a league of their own, right? Like they're like it's in terms of impact, in terms of like what they did in that company, the way they shaped that company, and the success that the company had, right? We're talking about, dude. Like,
No, you're wrong. You know why you're wrong? You know why you're
if
wrong?
I'm wrong, Mario,
This is why you're wrong.
if I'm wrong, why is he not even going to get 10% of the audience tomorrow
Eric
that
Champ.
Hulk Hogan would get on main event?
Because it's going to be on fucking Peacock. That's why. If it was on NBC or ABC, this thing would pop a fucking
No,
10 point whatever million
Nah,
rating.
would
Yeah,
be like
it absolutely
a
would.
little above,
It would-
a little
it
above what
Not
Goldberg
that, it
did,
would
like
peak.
maybe
It
2
wouldn't
million.
average. You're being super
Okay,
disrespectful,
fine.
dude.
3
To
million.
John Cena, the guy who's Peacemaker right now, right? Who's been in all these huge Hollywood flicks that have already far surpassed anything Hogan ever even attempted to do, and Stone Cold too, by the way. But ultimately, it boils down to this, right? John Cena, he he made wrestling cool in an era where it was really tough. What
Did
Hulk
he?
Hogan benefited, what Hulk Hogan, yeah, dude. Why do you think guys like Patrick Mahomes carry WWE belts, and why do you think that NBA players had
Because
spinner belts?
John
Dude, you lived through
Cena
that era.
was.
You know all those guys were carrying
I don't
spinner
know,
belts.
man. Like
McNabb,
this is John Cena, brother. John Cena, like there's nothing memorable about John Cena's run. Like it just isn't. Like John Cena's run had main events with The Miz at WrestleMania 27. Like that's his run, bro. Like
yeah,
forgotten main events. People don't care
yeah,
about him.
that's
Like
fine, but he shifted the culture. And by the way, you could say the same thing about Hulk Hogan, right? His matches sucked. His matches were worse than John Cena. If
no,
John
but
Cena
people
was the 5
remember
moves,
though.
Hogan
People
was the
remember
3
his
moves
matches.
doom.
No,
They remember the over theatrical, cartoonish
they
nature
remember
of Hulk
the
Hogan in that
body
era.
slam
That
of
I,
the body slam of Andre still talked about, brother. I was in diapers when that happened.
it definitely was a monumental moment, one of the biggest, if not the biggest. But
Like I
again,
want
I
you to
think
think
you're
about this, Mario.
under.
The diapers we were wearing, right? Because you're around my age.
Mhm.
When he body slammed Hogan, what do you think those diapers are right now?
Let me see. I got potty trained about 32, so I don't know. No, I'm just playing. No, yeah, they're gone. They're disintegrated for sure in some dump
Right?
somewhere.
Yet we could still remember the fact that he body slammed Andre the Giant. We could still remember his feud with Macho Man and that bloody Matchamania. You could talk all the shit you want, but there was magic. Like
You're
the way the
Yes, there was magic. You're right.
the magic of Hogan Warrior. I don't care what anybody says. There's no John Cena match that matches that. None.
Okay, but stop. See, because what you're doing is you're forgetting that John Cena,
Even
what you
Hogan
remember
fighting for the
are the
U.S. of
reps.
A against
You remember the
Slaughter, brother.
promos. You remember his tour during the Iraq and Afghanistan wars. You remember all these like things about him. Yes, they aren't
Do
rest based, but you know what Hulk had? Hulk had the magic. You're right. You know why? Because people still believed it was real back then, D.
yeah.
That's what Hulk Hogan benefited from, is he had a bunch of marks in the ring. 40-year-old, 50-year-old marks that actually believed it.
You
Today,
tell me.
by the time John Cena was rapping with the chain around his neck, everybody knew
No,
that the product
because
was
bro, like
scripted. Everybody.
Cena, like it's not all his fault, but like he's the king of the 50-50 booking era. Like
Bro,
like
Chido,
that's what it is.
hey, Cheeto, right there. He said it. Dude, Cena lifted Big Show and Test at the same time. Didn't even have Lesnar and Reigns. No, that was a different one.
No,
Yo, that man was a
nobody cares about it
horse.
though. Nobody cares
Because
about
of the B side. Dude, yeah, you're giving Hogan all this credit because it was fucking Floyd and Pacquiao. The B side of
Right.
Andre the Giant, well, he's a huge megastar. You're right. Nobody even came close to matching Cena's star power,
bro.
because that's how big Cena was. He's
Without
way above everyone else.
Without Hulkamania, there is no sports entertainment.
And
without
Hollywood
Hulkamania,
Hogan,
there is no
WWF
WrestleMania.
almost goes under. So can you give Hogan credit for a company that he helped build and then brought to almost its destruction? Because I give Stone Cold, The Rock, and Undertaker and Shawn Michaels the credit for keeping WWF alive. There would be no WWE if Hogan and Hollywood and WCW got their way. So he built something up to just destroy it. It had to be rebuilt.
Let me tell you something. Kids with no televisions and third world countries knew who Hulk Hogan was in his prime. Okay, that's how big Hulk Hogan was, brother. Like my grandma doesn't know John Cena. I'm gonna ask her tomorrow. Hey,
No,
you know
ask her. No, she knows John Cena. Yes, she does. She knows John Cena. No, I'm telling you right now.
If I ask my grandmother, hey, do you know who Hulk Hogan is? She knows who Hulk Hogan is.
Sure, I'd be very, very. I'm pretty sure she would. I will say this though: in the last 10 years that I have been over at my grandma's house or my grandparents or somebody's house, and they had Spanish cable on, right? Telemundo, Televisión, Univision. There were news stories in Spanish, and John Cena's on there.
I can't give it.
I'm telling you, bro.
I can't give the flowers to the guy in jean shorts, bro. I can't do it.
Oh, it was a knockout. Damn it. I missed it.
What happened?
Either Pulev got knocked out or Gassiev got knocked out. I'm about to find out. Anyway, yeah, okay, so let me ask you this real quick. As far as the final match, which is Saturday in
Sure.
Washington, D.C., December 13th, streaming live on Peacock. He is facing Gunther. That's going to be the main event. Do you expect we see Vince McMahon, and knowing what you know about the lawsuit, knowing what you know about the power move that was made to rid him from the company, somebody even, who was it? It was Eric, shout out Gomez, asked what the thoughts were on the doc, the Netflix doc came out, and all these things. Do you think that Vince will be shown, being that, as you called it, John Cena was a Vince guy?
No, I don't think he's gonna come out. I don't.
So they don't show him.
I don't believe they do now. Like it's they have no reason to anyway. Like I get everything you're saying, but in their minds, they don't think it's gonna be worth it. I'll be very surprised if Vince is showing any capacity.
There were rumors that him and Trump were going to be in the building for John Cena's final match. I always felt like the Trump stuff was probably BS, even though it was going to be in DC. But the Vince stuff, man, I don't know. Here's what I will say. I think that if Vince is there and they don't show him on camera, he'll end up being in the Unreal, because that Netflix show is a big part of what they're pushing now. And so he could be like the secret thing for like season 3 or whatever,
Why are they putting this shit on Peacock anyway?
Oh my God. Dude, Pulev got his fucking head knocked off. Damn. Jesus.
Pulev didn't pull it off.
He sure as fuck didn't. Hey, shout out to, who was it? Oh, Chi Death. Appreciate you, champ. Yo, this was nasty. Shout out. Oh my God, dude. He collapsed, D. Pulev collapsed. His legs just went out of his body. Yo, he was done on impact. So here, final question. I want to ask you about this. Okay, actually, two. Are you going to watch? And I think it was Remy who made the joke earlier that everybody's saying online that they're going to be watching Cena's last match and not the Gabriel Flores card. But are you going to be watching? And if it was up to you, being that John Cena's already lost to Cody Rhodes and he lost to Dominic Mysterio at his final PLE at Survivor Series San Diego, would you have John Cena get over in his final match? Or do you believe that the tradition of the guy leaving, putting over the guy staying, should remain?
I mean, if I was booking this myself, I would have John Cena win. Right? This would be a W. I would have him beat Gunther, and I would have it do it because people aren't expecting that. It'll get the internet community talking the next day about what you just said. That's not what you do. You're supposed to lose, and they go on rants. Right? That's what I would do personally. Gunther will be all right. Like, he doesn't need a John Cena win. You could just, you could always build him back up. But you had Gunther lose by submission at WrestleMania. Like, I think he'll be okay, right? But I think they're gonna have him lose. I think for whatever reason, this is the position they did it with Gunther and Goldberg, and I think this is where they're going with it. I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of this final match. I'm going to be honest with you.
Nor am I. I'm not going to lie about it.
I don't like. You had a whole year, and this is the finale. Like,
this is what you did. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And what about this? What do you think about this aspect? Because somebody brought this up on the show, on the live earlier this week, and I absolutely agreed with them. The nature of retirements in wrestling are utilized in storyline most of the time. They're never made into these things. Now, I understand John Cena is like the Kobe Bryant, Jordan of, he deserves, that kind of run, and the fans deserve to see him one last time, not just one single crowd. That said, though, right, you have this instance where I don't know, it's like nobody gives a shit, right? Because the stakes are all out there. It's just his final match. Everything's on the table. And we went and we rewatched Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, which people might remember as the I love you, I'm sorry match. This is where Ric Flair had his career on the line in
Right.
WrestleMania against Shawn Michaels. He was beat. He was done. He kept kicking out. Shawn knew that he needed to deliver one more super kick that would finally put Flair away. And as he's looking dejected, completely having this out of body experience, he looks over at Rick, who's crying and saying, "Come on, fucking bring it. Do it." He knows what he's about to
I'm
do.
gonna
And
be.
Shawn delivers it. But before that, he says, "I love you. I'm sorry." It's one of the
I
most emotional wrestling matches
I
ever.
think like what they should have done was Cena should still be holding the belt, and the title should be on the line. That's what should be happening right now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And because if he loses this match, my first thought is if he's going to lose the last match, why not just fucking have him have the belt, right? I think he should be the reigning WWE champion, and the belt should be on the line. And that's just my opinion. He should be a heel right now, and he should have won. He should have retired, and then he should have been talked out of retirement somehow by some face, maybe a Cody Rhodes, somebody, and do the final match at WrestleMania. That's what they
Oh,
should have done from the beginning.
that would have been dope. That would have
And,
been
and I remember
very,
that's what I
very
said they should have
dope.
done a couple of months ago when we did a show. Like that's what they should have
Yep.
done with it. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm quite like honestly, I don't know what's going on with Triple H.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like I don't know
The
how
booking, the
this was it.
creative. You know what it was, D? I thought I watched Triple H for years as a wrestler, and this is what I assumed. I assumed he was
Yeah.
going to be the kind of booker that was like, no nonsense. Like, I have this long term plan. This is my guy, and I'm going to push him. And right now, the narrative politically in wrestling is that Roman Reigns is pulling a Hulk Hogan, this doesn't work for me, brother, in the backstage. See, Roman Reigns was supposed to be in Hollywood for this whole year, right? He wanted to go
Mhm.
in and try his hand at Hollywood. The rumors are he didn't like it. It didn't work very well for him. He got tired of it very fast, and he wanted to
Mhm.
come back sooner than they expected. And the entire aspect of the card changed. Every narrative that they had going was abandoned in favor of pushing Roman and this vision narrative. But all that got lost in this was John Cena. Everything about it got lost in it. This year should have been one of the most special runs in the history of wrestling. And honestly, I think that when we look back, people are just going to want to not remember it. Nobody's going to remember that he turned heel and that creative botched it for months.
Remember when I said everyone's going to forget about John Cena? You said, "Oh no, they're not. They're never going to forget about John Cena." That's what you said. Like I think John Cena will be remembered as a guy who was a top face of the company. Um, for a long period of time. He gets that credit. He gets that face of the company, Mount Rushmore. Like people don't even understand how long Cena was on top. Like it's crazy. Um,
Yeah.
some guys, if like when you really look at it, Bret Hart was not on top that long.
No.
Like a lot of guys were not on top that long. So, but you know, wrestling abilities, he's not in the Mount Rushmore.
No.
But face of the company, he's there.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, man, we appreciate you tapping in with us,
Sure.
D, for real. I'm gonna head out too, so
All right, man.
yeah, I'll end the streams and
Shout
everything.
out to Pulev.
Hell yeah, and
Pulev,
everybody
pull yourself up.
everybody on my stream, make sure you go to D
Latest.
Styles channel, subscribe to his channel. Shout out to D. And if you were a visitor from his channel, you can go to Infighting FX on YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, IG, X, and Facebook. Yeah. Yeah. So all those channels, Infighting FX, same handle all across. And we are going to rock out tomorrow for the John Cena final match. We'll be live for that. We'll also be live for the Rocha fight for the Gabriel Flores. And where is that again? Stockton, right? Yo, shout out Gomez. Peace, champ. Yeah, go to Infight FX, champ. Tap in with me. I'm live every week, Monday through Thursday, or for the most part, Monday through Thursday, and then Saturday for all the big fights. Uh, yeah, that was not the clip. Oh well. So yeah, we'll be live tomorrow for both the boxing and the wrestling. Shout out to Pulev, shout out to D Style for being able to come through. Yo, y'all got to check out this knockout for real. This thing was vicious. Just an incredibly well placed combination. Uh he put the jab out there long enough that Pulev really had no way of seeing the punch coming. He threw the so it wasn't even like a jab he threw. He kind of just put it in his face. Like he just kind of like went forward in his face and then went down and over to catch the chin. Just beautifully placed, beautifully set up, well timed, great shot, dude. Seriously. The left, yes, it was a left hook. Thank you. Uh yo, I mean, picture perfect. And that's the exact type of offensive sequence you want to use against a guy like Pulev who is slow to the pullback, right? This guy is often slow pulling back, right? Doesn't always get the hand up right away, back to the chin when he releases a combo, especially one that ends with his right hand. And I think Gassiev just saw this space that he needed to be in and he exploited the distance. Absolutely exploited the distance. Somebody said they called this fight too. Who was it? Uh El Cuerpo, is that it? Al Cuerpo. He said that he called the 6-round knockout too. So nice on that, champ. Nice on that. He wants that Caballero fight, which I think would be a banger of a fight for real, for real. Man, Pulev, dude, he's he's having a hard time getting up. Well, I'm watching the replay, but he's having a hard time. Oh man. And then he just dropped, like stood up. Oh man, dude, he is like Undertaker if Undertaker's batteries gave out midway through it was like couldn't quite get to the sit up. You know what I mean? And then he just drops. So the fight's over, right? He's on his knees. And I think for the first time, he's realizing he loses. He's looking at his cornermen who are all in the ring now, and he just slumps. Just like he's like just drops again. He was really hurt, really hurt. I mean, obviously, I hope he's doing okay, but man, you got to give a lot of credit to Gassiev because not only did he land the picture perfect lead hook, but he did it in a way where, you know, this isn't like a pitcher who gave up a home run. This was a power hitter who went and found the ball. And geez, oh man. I'll clip it and put it on my socials. So if you fuck, picture perfect. That's gonna do it for us today, guys. We will be live tomorrow. John Cena's final match, Gabriel Flores, all of the action going down. Remember to follow Infighting FX on all channels. Shout out to D Style. Shout out to Ness, by the way, for coming through this week. Shout out to Abe Gonzalez. Shout out to who else was it? Mike was no, who else was it? There's a bunch of people. Oh, Machine Gun Matt, shout out to him, Supermex too. And go to fightsatw.com. Check out all of my work that I do for the website, as well as what I believe is one of the top pound for pound best combat sports journalist staff in boxing for sure. But you can go there for your betting advice too. Fightsatw.com. Tap in with them, tap in with me. Shout out to Eric Gomez. Appreciate everybody from D Style Show. I really appreciate it if you go to Infight and FX, tap in. The channel is new. If you've subscribed to me in the past, that channel got burned. We got sent to the shadow realm. So new YouTube, new X, new basically everything except for Facebook. TikTok's new, Twitch is new, everything new. We had to restart, but it happened. So at the end of the day, you know what time it is. Appreciate everybody. Hey Ed, appreciate you, champ. Appreciate you tapping in. You had some great comments in the chat earlier too. I definitely made a point to highlight them. But yeah, shout out to everybody else, and we will be back tomorrow. Until then, peace.